Hi everyone, my name's Ellie and I'll be guiding you through your 30-minute beginners yoga class. So before we begin, just make sure that you've got a mat or a carpeted area, you've got a nice safe space around you, you're wearing something comfortable and easy to move about in, and that you also have some water available. If you do become dizzy or unwell, please stop what you're doing and rest. If you have any pain or discomfort, please also stop what you're doing and rest. Or if it feels okay to do so, you can just reduce the range of movement and come out of the posture slightly, but always listen to your body and do what feels best for you. So we're going to start by lying down flat on our backs. So we're going to lie here with our palms facing upwards and our feet falling out to the sides, and then just slightly tucking your chin towards your chest to lengthen the spine. So lying in this nice comfortable position on your back, I'd like you to draw your attention to your breath. So just notice your breath at first. Notice your inhale and exhale. Notice the rise and the fall of the belly as you breathe in and out. And if you find that your mind wanders at all during your practice today, or find that you're holding your breath, then just slowly draw your attention back towards your inhale and exhale. Okay, on the next inhalation, we're going to take our arms over the head, take a nice full body stretch, really stretch out the body here. Wiggle your fingers and your toes. And as you next exhale, draw your right leg towards you, taking hold of the thigh with the hands, and then just begin to extend your foot up towards the ceiling. If it's more comfortable, you can place your left foot flat down on the mat. And then we're just going to flex and extend the foot that's in the air, and then rotate the ankle one way and the other way. Lovely, pop that foot back down, slide the legs back out. On your next inhale, take your arms overhead again. Take a nice full body stretch, really stretch it out. And then on your next exhale, draw your left leg towards you this time, taking hold of the thigh with the hands, and then begin to extend that foot up towards the ceiling. Again, if you'd like to pop your right foot down flat on the mat, then by all means do. And we're just going to flex and extend that foot in the air. And rotate the foot one way and the other way. Excellent, pop that foot back down. Again, slide the legs back out. Take another nice big inhale, take the arms overhead, nice full body stretch. Really stretch it out. And then on the next exhale, draw both legs towards you this time. So taking hold of the thighs or the shins, whatever's comfortable for you. And then just squeeze those knees down towards your armpits as much as you can. And then just you might want to take a little rock from side to side. Yeah, it'd be nice to just massage the back into the mat. Lovely, pop your feet back down on your mat and take your knees over to your right side and your arms over to your left side. And then just look to the hands. And we're going to just change the legs over to the other side now, and then the arms to the other side, and then look towards your hands again. Okay, draw your knees back into the centre then, and we're just going to draw our knees towards us one more time. Excellent, let's roll over to your right side and then use your hand to push you upright into the seated position. Okay, so from your seated position, what we're going to do now is a seated mobilisation. So, placing one foot on top of the other foot or on top of the other leg and sitting in a nice seated position. Sit nice and tall, shoulders back and down away from the ears. Belly button pulled in to protect the spine. Nice natural breathing in through your nose and out through your mouth. So we're going to take a nice big inhale. Reach up with the arms, look up towards the ceiling. Really stretch the fingers up high. And then exhale, bring the hands down. And then another big inhale. Reach up with the arms. And this time bringing your left hand down beside you, placing the fingertips onto the ground. And then on your next exhale, we're just going to reach over to the left side. Just making sure that you press your bum down onto the mat still. So don't let that right side come off the mat. And then back up to the centre. Lovely, let's take another big inhale. Reach up with the arms and then bring your right hand down this time. And as you exhale, come over to your right side. Lovely, back to the centre then. Let's take another big inhale, reach up with the arms, and then this time bringing your hands down in front of you and placing the fingertips down on the mat if you can. Keeping a nice long straight spine, I'm just going to walk the fingers forward if you can. Don't worry about coming too far forward here, because you want to make sure you can keep that spine nice and long and straight and you're not hunching forwards. Lovely, walking the hands back to the centre then. Another nice big inhale. Take the arms overhead and this time exhaling, bringing the hands behind you. Placing those fingertips down on the mat behind you there. Opening up through the chest and sitting really tall. Relaxing back to the centre there. Just going to bring our hands out in front of us, just flex and extend the wrists and then rotate them one way and the other way. Lovely. So now what I'd like you to do is make your way onto your hands and knees. So we're going to come into our tabletop position. So just making sure that the shoulders are above the wrists and the hips are above the knees. And we're going to do a few cat-cow movements. So have a little look first. So all we're going to do is as we exhale, we're going to push away from the mat. We're going to curve our spine outwards and we're going to push our hips forwards and tuck our chin towards our chest. And then as we inhale, we're going to bring our head, look up towards the ceiling, let the belly button fall towards the mat and push the hips backwards. Okay, so I'd like you to begin doing these now. Just moving in your own breath, in your own time. Getting a nice bit of movement through the spine there. That's it. Keep going with those. And back to a neutral spine then. So now what we're going to do is do a bit of a core activation, get those toe muscles working. So what I'd like you to do is tuck your toes and then squeeze the knees off the ground. Try not to hold your breath here though, okay? So we're going to go in 3, 2, 1. Lifting your knees off the ground, keeping those tummy muscles pulled in nice and tight. We're going to hold here for 6 breaths if you can. Nice deep breaths. And one more breath. And lowering the knees down, untuck the toes. Okay, just rest in your tabletop position for a moment. So what we're going to do next is prepare ourselves for a downward facing dog pose, but we're going to do a half dog first. So in a moment, we're going to again tuck our toes, lift our knees off the ground, and then this time we're going to push our belly button towards our thighs. Okay, so pushing the tummy towards the thighs. Are we ready to go? 3, 2, 1. Lift the knees off the ground. Take a nice big inhale, and as you exhale, push your tummy towards your thighs. Keeping up on the tiptoes here. Really try to lengthen the spine. Push away with the hands, look between the toes. Holding for a few more breaths here. Two more breaths. And coming forwards with the weight there, bringing your knees down, untucking your toes, and just pausing in your in your tabletop position for a moment. Okay, so now we're going to be ready to come up into our full downward facing dog pose. So the same applies. We're going to tuck our toes, lift our knees, push our belly button back towards our thighs. But then this time we're going to try to extend the legs, lift our hips as high as possible, and then lower the heels down as much as we can towards the ground. But don't worry if your feet aren't flat on the ground at first. So are we ready to go? 3, 2, 1. Off we go. Lifting the knees off the ground. Take a nice big inhale. And as you exhale, push the hips upwards. Push your belly button back towards the thighs. And then begin to extend the hips upwards, extending the legs, lowering the heels down towards your mat, and then looking between the feet. That's it. Holding here for a few more breaths. We've got 2 more breaths here. And then bringing the weight back forwards, lowering your knees down, untucking your toes. Lovely, back into your tabletop position. Okay, so we're now going to make our way up to a standing position. So bringing your hips down towards your feet, and then propelling your right foot forwards. We're going to plant the hands either side of the foot into a low lunge, and then bring our left foot through to meet our right foot. And we're just going to let our upper body hang heavy here for a moment. You can keep a slight bend in the legs. And just relax in our forward fold. And then we're just going to slowly roll up through the spine, nice and slowly, 1 vertebra at a time, bringing your head up last. Lovely. Okay, so if you need to have a quick sip of water, then do that now. So we're going to now do some simple sun salutations. So all we're going to do here is move through a small sequence a couple of times round, okay? So let's take a nice big inhale, reaching up with the arms, looking up towards the fingertips. And then folding forward from the hips, reaching down towards your toes. Don't worry if your hands don't come all the way down to the ground here. And then bend your knees as much as you need to get your fingertips down as far as you can to the ground. On your next inhale, lengthen the spine, begin to straighten the legs, and place your hands on your shins. And then on your next exhale, we're going to fold back down towards the feet. Placing your hands either side of the feet, we're going to inhale, take a nice big step back with the right leg, lower the back knee down, and then exhale, bring your left leg back. Okay, so back into our tabletop position here then. So what we're going to do is push the hips back and rest down into a child's pose. Begin to walk the fingers forwards to extend the spine. And then if you can, rest your head down on the mat or just let the head hang heavy. Looking towards the hands, we're going to take a nice big inhale, bringing your right leg through, so you can use the hand to guide the leg through if you need to, and come into our low lunge. Exhale, and then inhale, reach up with the hands, looking up towards the ceiling, and then exhale back down. Lovely, bring your right foot back towards your left foot again, relax the hips down, rest into child's pose. On your next inhale, look towards the hands, take a big step through with that left leg, you can use that hand to guide your foot if you need to. Exhale, relax. Inhale, reach up with the hands into our low lunge. Exhale the hands down, frame that foot, and then bring your left foot back towards the right foot again. Lower your hips back down onto your feet, and come into your child's pose once more. And then looking towards the hands, we're going to come up onto the tiptoes, push your hips backwards and take a step or a jump forwards towards the hands. Relaxing the upper body again in our forward fold, and then we're going to slowly roll up through the spine, bringing your head up last. Lovely, that is one sun salutation done, so we're going to do that all over again now. So let's take another nice big inhale, reach up with the arms, exhale, folding forward from the hips, reaching down towards your toes. Inhale, lengthen the spine, hands to shins. Exhale, folding forward, framing the feet, bending the knees as much as you need to. Inhale, step back with the right leg, lower the back knee down. Exhale, bring the left leg back, lower the back leg down. Into your tabletop position, we're going to inhale, look forwards, exhale, push back into child's pose. Lengthen the arms, walk the fingers forwards, rest the head down. Looking towards the hands, take a nice big inhale, bring the right leg through to that front hand, frame the foot with the hands, exhale, relax. Inhale, reach up with the hands, into our low lunge. Exhale the hands down, inhale, look forwards, exhale, right foot back to left foot and lower the hips down. Back into your child's pose. Looking towards the hands, take a nice big step through with the left leg. Use that hand to guide the foot. Framing your front foot. Take an exhale. Inhale, reaching up with the hands into your low lunge. Relax the hands down, exhale. Inhale, look forwards. Exhale, bring the left leg back to meet the right leg. Lower the hips down. Looking towards the hands, bring your, tuck the toes, lift your knees off the ground and step or hop forwards. Let the upper body hang heavy. And then slowly roll up through the spine, bringing your head up last. Okay, so now grab another sip of water, if you'd like. So we're now going to do a quick sequence, a standing sequence. So with this one, what we're going to do is come into a chair pose firstly. So we're going to inhale, reach up with the hands, and then exhale, sit the bum down as if you're sitting into a chair. So your feet should be hip distance apart here. And draw a nice long straight line from your hands all the way down to your hips. And holding for 6 breaths. One more breath. And then exhale the hands down towards the feet. Come into your forward fold. Relax here for a moment. And we're going to slowly roll up through the spine, bringing the head up last. So we're going to come into a standing balancing position now, called a tree pose. So your options here, we're going to bring our weight into our right leg firstly. So option 1 is to keep your left toes touching the ground and placing your heel on the inside edge of the right leg, just above the ankle. And then really open up through that left hip. So that's option 1. If you want to challenge your balance a little bit more, you can lift that foot and place it onto the lower leg. Okay, so getting into your position now. Finding a nice focus point on the floor in front of you, and don't forget to keep breathing. That will help with concentration and balance. When you're ready, inhale the arms up and come into your full tree pose. Again, we're going to hold for 6 breaths. And relax the hands down and relax the feet down. Good, shake out the leg. You may find that you might be a little bit wobbly on one side more than the other, and that's completely normal. Just keep practicing to help get that balance. If you do fall out of the tree pose, that's absolutely normal as well. Just come straight back into it, or you can use a wall for support if you're finding you're particularly wobbly first. So let's come back into our chair pose then. So nice big inhale, reaching up with the hands, and then exhale, sitting down into that invisible chair, drawing that nice straight line between the hands and the hips. Holding for 6 breaths. Two more breaths. And relax the hands down towards the ground. Let the upper body hang really heavy. And then slowly rolling up through the spine, bringing your head up last. Right, let's come into our tree pose on the other side this time. So again, option 1, just keeping those right toes on the ground. Option 2, you can bring the foot to the lower leg. Really try and open up through that right hip. Once you've found your balance, find your focus point. Take some nice deep breaths and then inhale Bringing your hands up above your head into your full tree pose. Holding for 6 breaths. One more breath. And relax the hands down. Good. Pop the other foot back down. Give that leg a little shake if you like. Okay, so now we're going to make our way down to do some seated postures. We're going to move down to the floor slowly and mindfully. So let's take a nice big inhale, reach up with the arms. And then exhale, folding forward from the hips. Reaching down towards the toes, bend the knees as much as you need to plant the hands either side of the feet. And then we're going to sit ourselves back onto our knees and then sit ourselves down onto our feet, our hips down onto our feet, and then bring our feet into a cross-legged position and then bring the legs through. Okay, so hopefully you are onto your bottom now. So we're going to do a seated forward fold, okay? Now with this one, try not to hunch the shoulders forwards. Try to sit nice and tall. If you can't come that far forwards, it doesn't matter. The main point of this position is to stay nice and tall and try to have the legs as straight as possible. Now if you have a slight bend in the legs, that's absolutely fine, but try to keep that long straight spine as you lean forwards. Okay, so let's take a nice big inhale. Reach up with the hands, and then as you exhale, bring your hands down in front of you, and then placing them on the legs or on the mat, wherever's comfortable for you. And then we're just going to take a few inhales and exhales here. Every time you exhale, seeing if you can soften a little bit more into this position. If you can, drive the feet forward a little bit more. Just try and extend the legs. So you want to be able to feel the stretch here, but you don't want to be shaking or feeling uncomfortable. So if it is like that, then bend the knees a little bit and sit a little bit taller. Lovely, we've got 2 more breaths here. And then coming back upright, lovely. So now we're going to do a little seated twist. So bringing your right knee towards you, placing your foot flat on the ground, draw your left toes towards you as well to keep the tension in that leg. Let's take a nice big inhale, reach up with the hands, and then bring your left hand around your right leg, around the front of the shin. And as you exhale, take a little twist and look over your right shoulder, placing your right hand behind you onto the fingertips if you need to, and then just try and sit nice and tall. Lovely, holding here for a couple of breaths. And then back to the centre. Lovely, let's change sides. Okay, so let's take a nice big inhale, reach up with the hands, and then exhale, bring your right hand around your left shin, and then bring your left hand behind you, place the fingertips down, sit nice and tall, and just try to have a little look over that left shoulder. Excellent, back to the centre. We're going to come into our final position today. So it's going to be a bridge pose. So what we want to do is engage the core muscles, slowly lower ourselves down onto our mats, and then just walk your feet towards your bum. So you want to make sure your feet are flat on the mat. You don't have to force them to be too close towards the bum. Just place them wherever's comfortable, hip distance apart. And we're going to press our palms into the mat or the ground beside us. And then all we're going to do is take a nice big inhale. And as we exhale, squeeze the hips off the ground, lifting them as high as you can. You can try and walk the shoulder blades together a little bit to try and squeeze the hips up even higher. Holding here for a few breaths. Try not to hold your breath. And one more breath. And slowly lower the hips down. Lovely. Draw your knees towards you. Give yourself a little hug. Maybe a little rock from side to side. And then we're going to just relax down in our final Shavasana, final relaxation today. So let your feet, extend your legs and let your feet fall out to the sides. Lie with your palms facing upwards, tuck your chin slightly towards your chest, and just close your eyes. So just draw your attention back to your breath. But don't try to control the breath. Just notice the rise and fall of the belly. And on each exhale, just trying to relax and fully surrender into your mat. So draw your attention to your head. Notice your head pressing onto the mat. Relax your eyebrows and your jaw. Your neck. Draw your attention to your shoulders. If you're holding any tension here, let it go now. Draw your attention to your arms, to the tops of your arms, to the crease of your elbow, to your wrists, palms and fingers. Just let your upper body feel really soft and relaxed. Now draw your attention to your hips. Take a nice big inhale, and as you exhale, let your hips really soften into the mat. Draw your attention to your thighs, space behind the knees, your shins, ankles, soles of your feet and your toes. Try to let your lower body really relax. Notice your whole body taking a well-earned rest. And enjoy lying here for a few more breaths. When you feel ready, you can wiggle your fingers and your toes. Take your head side to side. And then just drawing your knees towards you, giving yourself one final hug. And then rolling over to your right side, pushing yourself upwards into a seated position. And if you haven't already, then you can open your eyes. Take a few gentle blinks to bring your attention back into the room. I hope you're feeling nice and relaxed after that session. And make sure you drink plenty of water and have a great rest of your day.